So if you're at all active in the home studio scene here on YouTube, then you're probably well aware of Adam Audio's award-winning A7X studio monitors. Well, in today's video, I have with me in my studio the next step in Adam's A-series studio monitors, the A7V near-field studio speakers. Today's video is not meant to be an in-depth review of the speakers, but rather just a general overview and unboxing and just admiring how sweet these speakers look. I would like to have the speakers for an amount of time before I make a judgment call on how I feel about them sonically. However, I did plug them in. I've been using them a little bit, listening to some stuff on Spotify, and they're interesting. I'll go over this more in a minute, but really I say they're interesting based on the flat profile that they have. You'll see on the back there are different ways to set EQ on the back. In some ways they're more flattering than others, and I've just had them set completely flat. And I think maybe I'm just used to a much more hyped speaker than these, because while they're very detailed, I just kind of feel like I need to work on my mixes some more when I'm listening to them. And I think that may be the goal. So just a quick look at Adam's website will give you some specs on these speakers. The Adam A7Vs come with a 7-inch long throw woofer made from 6 layers of mineral stone fiber. The woofers are powered by Class D digital amplifiers to help reduce distortion coming from the woofer. Adam's signature XR ribbon tweeters are handmade in Germany, and they are powered by a Class AB amplifier. Around the tweeters on these particular speakers, this is a difference from the A7X series, is a built-in waveguide that is meant to help disperse the frequencies from the tweeters more evenly and consistently, no matter how you really have them oriented. And that brings me to the next really cool feature of these speakers. The waveguide with the tweeter in it can be unscrewed with just a traditional Allen wrench and flipped either 90 or 180 degrees, so you can lay these speakers on their side, or I guess upside down if you want to. Like I was saying earlier, there are 4 bands of EQ on the back of the speakers to adapt the speakers to your particular listening situation. Next to the 4 bands of EQ on the back of the speaker, you will see 3 predefined voicings or profiles that will EQ the speaker to whatever your preference is. 2 of the voices are made by Adam, that is Pure and UNR, and then there's another one called EXT that is something that you can set however you want in the A-Control software that we'll talk about in a minute. The Pure voicing, which is the one that I've left my speakers on, is a much more flat response, and there are traditional 2D as well as 3D, aka the waterfall chart, on their website that show the response of the speakers and how long the speakers create the frequencies. I think I explained that correctly. The UNR voicing is much more hyped in the low end and the high end. This may be the low end for you guys. Anyways, it's much more hyped on the ends, and then there's actually a dip between 2 and 5K on that voicing as well. Adam even says on their website that that voicing is not recommended for critical listening. So let's quickly talk about A-Control. This is Adam's own software that they created to control the EQ on the back of your studio monitors. A-Control is completely free to download after you register your speakers on Adam's website, and then you can make use of the A-Control software by plugging your computer into an Ethernet switch, and then from the switch to both of your monitors, where you can control the EQ and voicing of your speakers in real time. Also, A-Control is one half of the equation for the partnership that Adam has with Sonarworks now. The built-in DSP in the A7Vs, as well as the other speakers in the A-series from Adam, is capable of running a Sonarworks profile of your room with these particular speakers on board of the speaker. So in your computer there will be no need for any other plugins or software running in the background, because the Sonarworks profile is going to be running directly on your speakers. Now, this is something that I didn't know, but I think it's really cool that Adam and Sonarworks want to make this feature as available to users like us as they can. Once you register your speakers on Adam's website, then you will have access to a 60-day free trial of Sonarworks that you can then use to measure the response of your speakers in your room, and then load that profile onto your A7V monitors without any other software or plugins running while you're using them. I mean, in my opinion, that was my least favorite part of Sonarworks, because having the plugin either running for my global system or in my plugin both had kind of their own weird bugs. So having Sonarworks on the speakers is actually really exciting to me. You will need a reference microphone, whether that be just some random measuring microphone that has a flat response, or one that you get from Sonarworks, which is what I recommend, because each of the microphones you get from Sonarworks is going to be calibrated with that individual microphone in mind from Sonarworks, so it's just going to be really the most accurate situation. I think that's really all the specs of the speakers. I think I'm just going to go listen to them now.
The next day.
Well, hey. So thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you're still here, I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. Let me say this is the next day.
The next day.
I was filming all that yesterday and last night, and today I've used this speaker some, and I know that this exchange is a little cheesy, but I actually have made some different decisions on specifically the mid-range of my mixes while using the Adam Audio A7Vs. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. In the next few weeks, I'm going to be using the speakers as extensively as I would normally do so. I'm gonna be making some guitar covers and doing some mixes with these speakers. And I'm planning on doing a more in-depth review of my experience with the speakers in the future. So again, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one.